the oral history of her being able to pass on from generation to generation the same things my mother had taught me. So we'll travel through communities, and my mama be sitting in the car and she'll see some mullein. And we've been killing weeds forever, but they still thrive somewhere. And my mom still brews mullein as a tea, which has been a tradition in a lot of families, not just African American families and Native American families, but a lot of families use things that we commonly see growing around. And that's what we did here. We narrated, the use of mullein. We narrated that the use of cattails, eating the roots. And all of this is what freedom seekers, some people call them runaway slaves, but freedom seekers would have had to know what was edible for them to leave from Mississippi and walk all the way to Chicago and ultimately end up in Canada. And so we're even singing songs that freedom seekers would have had to know as a signal. And Wade in the Water was one of those songs that was a signal to other freedom seekers. This is how you know it's time to get up and leave and go to the next place. So just wanted to show you all that. Thank you. And I got a Juneteenth flyer of 2014. And so Raphael talked a little bit about what kind of activities happen across the whole scope of the 300 plus members that are part of the Chicago Wilderness. Most of us have activities that we do post on Chicago Wilderness website. And this is an announcement for, I'm missing my J, well, pardon me, but it's so we have set the date for 2014. And this event actually is going to take place at the Stephen Douglas Tomb site. So I want you to be mindful to find us on the internet, look up Bronzeville Historical Society, and you'll be able to see, how to reach us and find out about activities that we have year round. But have any of you heard of the term Juneteenth?
Oh, yeah.
And so imagine that, here with this phenomenal place that we have our office at, the Stephen Douglas Tomb site, directly across the street from the site is Civil War Hospital. And, Douglas died in 1861. The land that he had owned as a homestead is where his remains are in the tomb. And then here we have the Civil War Hospital directly across the street. So we're able to talk about the role that Chicago had during the Civil War. The grounds that the tomb is on, actually more than 6,000 Confederate soldiers lost their lives. And so we get to talk about in terms of, what does freedom mean for anyone? And the responses are just amazing that people talk about, well, my family came here from Mississippi because they were fleeing racism and they wanted the opportunity to go to school. And then we have other visitors that come and say, my family left Germany because of this. And so I ended up capturing some of those stories and asked that people give me permission to take their photographs. And I built out signage and I put it in the Pullman State Historic Site, which is a larger, bird oasis. And we put signage along the pathway, and it celebrates those stories that people shared with me. So when they came back and visited, it's like, oh, my picture is here. So, for instance, we have one gentleman, Mike Wagenbach. His family came here from Germany. They were farmers in the Peoria area. He is now working, for the state of Illinois to help interpret the site. So his signage is there, and then they'll have a picture of, say, the cardinal, or a picture of, and an explanation of, the importance of preserving the site and birds and conservation. So, interpreting a place that was formerly a factory, and then, revisiting its use and recreating a way that more people can start coming and realize that we're all, related. We're all family. So I'd be interested to, find out from some of you all as to how your families migrated or immigrated. Because it's very important when you're telling the story of U.S. history that it parallels everything. And so I'm just, I'm open to any questions, and I'm just happy to be here.
Certainly, so one of the migration thing, I think I didn't mention to you guys when I was talking about the monarchs, but obviously our Mexican-American community we've worked with some classrooms there who compare the migration of monarchs to the immigration of families from Mexico as well. So again, nice finding those connections to connect the natural and the cultural world, right?
So who has family that pick cotton here? I got one up on you all. Okay, very
My
good.
family didn't pick cotton, but my grandmother was she was an orphan in Sweden, and she was sent here as a domestic to work for a relative.
Oh my goodness, wow. Anyone else has rich family history here? I know you want to tell it. I see you back there. Well, any other questions from anyone? Anybody have a question? Anybody want to know the cost of starting a bird oasis?